And we're back here once again with another episode of the MSK show. And this is going to be episode 242. So I hope you guys had a great day and I hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend that is ahead of you. And this is a special weekend because it is Memorial Day weekend. So I do want to give a huge shout out and thank you to every single person that fought for this great country we have. America, truth, justice, and the American way is the Superman motto from the DC comic books, actually. Because without you lovely heroes, we would not have this great country where we could just basically get on a podcast as two black guys, white black guys, and then just basically shit on people. It's just what we do around here. But no, in all seriousness, I do want to say thank you to the people that really did, give their lives for this country because, as much as liberals want to destroy it and say this country is terrible, not a single one of them would ever actually go over there and live in the UK where they straight up put you in jail over tweets. Not even just your own tweets, retweeting other people's stuff. Not even if you quote tweeted it, you just retweeting someone else's stuff. Absolutely insane. And people over here have the nerve to say that this country is bad. What in the fuck is wrong with you? So, just saying. Our country is the best. It's not really even close, honestly. Yeah, the other countries have better stuff about them as well, but I think that's just life. In other places, despite if they're worse, they're going to have one or two better attributes. But, you know, I've literally had
America, America's the best. Sorry,
yeah,
guys.
Warren's gonna have a freaking American flag in the back of him. He's gonna plant it down. He's gonna be like America, just
Damn
drinking a
straight,
beer.
America.
Good. So, we actually have no topics for tonight. I was honestly just I wanted to go over and shit on the View. I actually did. I was so close to doing it, but then I thought, damn, it's late Friday. I got to get up early for work. 6:30 my time to basically get up and get ready when my ride comes, and then I just go to work because I got to be work at 7. And I was like, you know what? Don't have the strength tonight to just shit all over these retarded idiot women. You can always save that topic for another day because I have it bookmarked. That's why I bookmark everything. Back in the day, I didn't know that was an actual thing to be useful for. So everything that I needed for something, I would just retweet it like a moron. So now on Twitter, I just bookmark everything. Same thing with comic book releases that are upcoming that I might use for a comic book market watch episode. I'll just bookmark it on Facebook because Facebook, people shit on it, dude, but I still find it as very, very, very great uses. One is the fact that on YouTube, when you want to type in like I want to watch X thing, Facebook actually has things on there where you can just type it up and just watch things in like full episodes, honestly, basically, or like the best moments that you remember that you went, oh my god, back when you were a bit younger. So no, Facebook still has a lot of great uses that I definitely still use it for. My least used one is Instagram. I don't post as many pictures like I used to. If you go back and look at my older pictures, that stuff is cringe. So I'm gonna do a new era of MSK on my Instagram coming up. I'm gonna basically put out a post that says basically MSK 2.0 rebrand.
I used to use Instagram somewhat, but the algorithm changed a lot, and they've been kind of screwing with it. So it wasn't. It's a lot harder, and not. It's not nearly as good as it used to be. But I'll still keep. I'll keep trying to. But
Mhm.
yeah, it's not nearly as nice as it was.
They just want to push horrors. That's all they want to do.
Yeah,
You know.
manipulate reactions.
You know what's crazy is that thinking of like the way AI might potentially go in the future, dude. I'm thinking the fact that some of those girls that are on there might not even be real women. Like they just might be just promoting AI created women and pictures and everything to take likes and follows from other people that could be going to real people to put them into fake ones. I have no clue, honestly. That's just a theory that I have because, today my friend showed me this Moist Critical video where Moist Critical in his video had a clip of a person streaming like Fortnite or Minecraft. The person wasn't even real, but to like the most average normal person, would you be able to tell if that person was real? Because it looked very real. They were
Yeah,
playing games. you know. So that's what I think. Like on Twitter, have you noticed it? Like when like Marvel Comics, when they'll announce like, hey, we're doing this all new whatever, this is the upcoming whatever, they'll have a bunch of comments under their posts, but you can tell they're all bots. Like I can tell it's bot.
Oh, bots are big right now. It's all over the place. There's even streamers who get accused or who are being accused of using audience bots, like essentially bots that subscribe to you and keep your stuff active. And there's the political bots, and those same bots are being used for by corporations, and you really can't just trust anything anymore. It's good, I mean, you could have a robot do it. Some of those AI videos are getting really good, and it's getting to the point where pretty soon we're not going to be able to tell the difference, and they're going to be able to do it. Like in our lifetime, we'll see a fully AI created movie.
That's what my friend was talking about too. Like potentially in the future, that's why some of these film studios are gonna have a field day in the future. Because why would you spend $250 million plus like $100 million in marketing when you could potentially make a high quality, blockbuster movie for like $500 and it just looks the same, feels the same, you know? But then again, like you have to ask the average person like would they even care? Like the average person, like I'll be honest, you guys, entertaining them is easy. Like the new Mission Impossible movie came out, and I love the Mission Impossible movies, the six that I've seen. They. I mean, I love six. Fallout's my favorite one. Ghost Protocol's my second favorite one. Then it's a tie between Rogue Nation and three. I do lean towards three more. I think it was a much more stronger movie, but Rogue Nation was really, really good. Two has got that John Woo style. It's very fun.
Yeah,
I don't
it's
know why
all over the
people.
place.
I really don't get why people hated it. I understand it's you go from cool like dark serious tone spy thriller to kind of like guy saves girl from abusive boyfriend kind of thing. Okay, makes sense. But I thought it was very fun. Still easily has one of the best fight scenes between him and that guy at the very end of the movie. Still was awesome. Even the first one, I think it's really boring, but I'd watch it over most movies nowadays. You give me the option, hey, watch Eternals over this. All right, Mission Impossible 1. Let's go. Let's
Oh,
do it
it's
again.
not that bad. Come on now.
Like people were basically saying like, "Oh, I was entertained," and all those other things, and then you had other people that basically said, "Oh, it's kind of convoluted. It's not as good as the other ones." So like, I don't think the average person really cares about like quality. I think the general average moviegoer just cares about being entertained. Literally, if you were entertained,
100%.
fine. You know, there are a
100%.
few select fans out there who do care about like how a story is scripted in a movie, like dialogue and pacing and action, all that stuff. Like Laps comic fan always asks me that. He's like, "How do you notice that stuff when you watch movies?" I'll be honest here. I think I've told you this before too. Even when I was younger, I could do that. When I was younger,
Yeah.
I could identify what I didn't like in something and what I did like, even if I didn't know the context behind it or more of a nuanced way of looking at it. Like I remember I'd watch like, I don't know, fucking any insert movie here, and I'd be like, well, that's kind of stupid. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. That kind of score with this scene is really cool. Like, I've been doing that since I was younger. So when I got older and I watched movies and I kind of looked at it from a perspective of let's take what I learned as a kid versus looking at it now, that's what I do. Like I'm someone, I sound like I exactly turn my brain off, but I'm someone where it's like, yeah, a movie can be like turn your brain off, but if we're going to review something, we need to be like, okay, like you can weigh how much do you weigh entertainment versus like what is actually crafted well. Because you can have movies that are crafted well and be entertained too. People think it's just mutually exclusive. You can only be entertained, but then the story has to just not be there. Or if you are a good story, then the entertainment's boring. I feel like the Academy Award winning movies do that every year. Those exclusively are insanely boring movies. And they all, people say the MCU movies feel the same. No, no. Watch Academy Award winning Oscar movies. Those feel the same, every single one of them. The very
Yeah.
few that I really, really like don't actually fall into that category. Like I know Django won a lot of awards. Technically, yes, a slave movie, more like a slave action movie. If you want to really put it there, and you had some legendary performances from Leonardo DiCaprio and Jamie Foxx and Samuel
Oh,
Jackson.
that movie's so good.
Yeah, that's a movie that won a lot of those Academy Awards, but it didn't kind of fall under the same like tropes that the other ones did. It had its bait moments in there. I'd imagine doing a slave movie was going to be like Oscar bait, as they say. Or like a lot of people's favorite and one of my favorites, Wolf of Wall Street. It's I would argue nothing like those Academy Award Oscar winning movies. Not even
Yeah, yeah.
close.
Those
Usually,
movies are undeniable. Like those movies,
mhm,
like no matter how you feel, that it's undeniable how good Django is or how good
yeah,
Wolf of Wall Street is. And I see it in comics too.
yeah,
There's a lot of AI getting brought in covers. Pretty soon they're going to be doing interiors, and
oh
pretty soon
gosh,
you'll be able to make an entire comic book. Probably in the next 5 years, you'll be able to make an entire comic book with AI. Now, the damned thing about it is though is the audience, the consumer doesn't
mhm,
give a shit. If they get a good comic book that looks good and entertains them,
yeah,
and they can get it for $3, they're not going to care that an AI did the whole thing.
yeah,
They will not care. And it's I'm not knocking the audience or along those lines. It's just that's the brutal reality of it
mhm,
is that they don't care about when you're creating entertainment stuff. People don't care how long the practice went into it along those lines.
mhm,
Now, some people do because they're really into it. There's some people who be like, well, I love hand drawn artwork, but when I'm talking about general audience, like Marvel will be doing completely AI made comic books in the next probably 5 or 6 years.
that's
DC will be doing it too, and then probably not Image as much, but I can see Image
Image would be
jumping
one
in
of
there.
the only companies I could see generally not doing it because imagine
Yeah,
a world like this. Image Comics, creator owned. You can have your own IPs here. Oh, you can have
yeah.
AI here. It's like that would be
Where it's
that,
gonna hit huge is anime.
yeah.
Anime is going to hit huge, and
Do you think
animation
like voice
because
actors?
well, no, probably that too. But when it comes to animating, where you have to pay 1,000 animators to make a movie, and you have to work them 18 hours a day, and they're getting fractures in their hands, and they're like malnourished and shit. Well, if an AI could come in and do all of that work, and you don't have to have that crew of people and putting them through that, then you're going to see fully AI animated cartoons just as quick or quicker than comic books in some aspects because we're talking about no one knows who animators are. Like a comic book artist if you're a comic fan, and you may know directors, but you're not going to know the guy who does the inner part of the 100-man team that did the fight scene. So it's going to be a lot easier to replace them with AI, especially with a consumer base that it's like, if I get the seasons of my favorite anime and I get it every 6 months instead of every 4 years or 3 years or 2 years, then they're not going to give a shit. They're going to watch it. They're going to be entertained. Now, it could take voice actors. I could see it taking that too. I could see it first taking the grunt work, which is you have your key animators who do the key shots that help do the pacing. They'll stay human, but the people who do the in betweens, that is going to be farmed out to AI. So you're going to have like 5 people teams doing entire uh, cartoon series and movies and stuff.
Yeah, I was trying to think about AI today when I was talking to my friend. What industry wouldn't it hit? Like you think of all the potential ones that it could hit. The only ones that I'm thinking about, just the ones at the top of my head, traditional sports. That can't touch it. That's just impossible.
Yeah,
Unless you'd rather have AI people play sports, which would be just I don't that just wouldn't be a
yeah.
possibility.
Well, yeah,
Or
AI could do like you would see coaches using AI analyzing plays and games.
yeah,
Along those lines, I can see
you could
that,
use it for
but
like
you're
yeah,
yeah,
I see what you're saying. Yeah, you could
yeah,
use it
but you're
for like
not going to
broad
replace
analyzation points.
yeah,
Yeah.
you're not going to replace hundreds of people's of jobs, and you're not going to replace players with AI because it's that well. No one wants to watch robots play basketball. They're not going to be nearly. They're not close to being graceful enough yet. And when we're talking about like Android Optimus type kind of technology, it's still pretty stiff, and I don't know how far away it is, but it's for you're talking about gracefully playing basketball and doing stuff along those lines. It's not quite there yet. It'd be yeah.
Like for comic books, the topic for AI you just brought up, that's weird because if AI, let's say 5 years from now, can make covers, interiors, lettering, and all the when you do art, I forgot what it's called. It's before you actually color the image in and you kind of make it what it's supposed to be. Forgot, it's when you like sketch it in. I forget the name of it.
Oh,
It
like
can
the
do like the layout of the
yeah,
actual
yeah,
image.
the layouts,
Yeah.
yeah,
So it could
the
do layout.
composition.
Yeah. So when you do it could do composition, lettering, interiors, covers. That's crazy because wouldn't that help actually speed up your process? Like, couldn't you have it basically speed up your process of your own work?
Um,
I don't think it would work that way, would it?
no, it would for not for me because then what's the point of even doing it for me? Like I draw them and write them. Now, if I could have an AI write me a script where I put in like the major hockey points and it does all of the footwork for me, I might entertain the notion of doing that. But when it comes to the artwork side of it, the problem with it is that it's going to get better. But right now, it all looks the same. There's no style in AI art. There's no the AI art's not doing Sig and Joe and from Perfect type stuff yet. It's doing now covers. It's taken over. Like you can get a sexy cover that'll make you a five, $600,000 on your Kickstarter. You can make that no problem, and they're get to the point now where you don't even have to touch them up, like the
Mhm.
images that's being created in these AIs. When it gets to be able to do interiors,
Mhm.
the only downside, the reason why I wouldn't use it is because it's going to be a while before it looks different. Right now, it all looks the same because it's so young. The first iterations of interior art. Plus, two, I'm also like, then what's the point of even doing it? Because I enjoy drawing it. I enjoy learning that stuff. I enjoy doing that. So I don't want to take away from the process by having AI do it for me.
Yeah,
I don't want AI to do any of the process for me.
because the
I
thing
can
is,
handle
like,
it.
what would be the pushback from the artists and the writers and
Yeah,
all these people that do these jobs in the comic book industry? What would be their reaction to basically the companies? Because they only care about bottom line stuff. They only care about if it makes profit. And with companies like these, the average person doesn't get this. They only care if the profits go up. So if profits go up just a slight bit, that's the only thing that companies
yeah,
care about. Like, that's the only thing that's in their minds. Because like people think of things in like infinite growing. Like they people legitimately think Netflix can get a million subscribers on their streaming service. But in reality, it's not how that works though. You're gonna
yeah,
eventually cap at an audience max, and that's just what you have. Streaming is different. Obviously, comics is a little bit different, but it's one of those things where would the executives at like Marvel and DC that run the comic book divisions not hesitant not hesitate to like cut people if it means just making an extra buck on something else. So
yeah, yeah.
if you wouldn't have to pay, people to do interiors, would you do it? That's one of those things where it's like I'm just kind of concerned about the backlash it would have, because I don't know if it would be enough for people in those positions to go, yeah, you're going to be kind of really, really, really angry with me, but you know, it's
Well,
just what the boss
it's
wants.
what happens when Marvel drops a graphic novel that's $7,
Hmm.
or their floppies now down to $2 because they're not paying any art team. They and the teams that they are paying is down. Well, like you have some creative writer editors, so that way they're checking the
Mm,
scripts, and then you have a couple artists checking all the artwork and making sure that everything is in the right place. Well, now your team is down to like 4 or 5 people, and a machine is just pumping out all of this footwork of storyline along those lines. Um, it will run into a I mean, you could run into some problems. You know, reason why you won't see it in Marvel right away is because, and you'll see it at the lower end of indie first,
mhm,
is that it's not good enough yet to be, like fans would riot in Marvel if they were putting out shit comics that were AI.
mhm.
But if
Yeah.
they were able to start doing comics where you couldn't tell they were AI, then that's when Marvel will start using it. But what the people that are using it now are going to be like, if you wanted a comic book and you can't draw and do all that other stuff, and then someone shows you 5 AI programs, and between those 5 programs, you can make an entire comic book. Well, now it's just on you, and you're making a comic book for practically just the time it takes for to do it, or the small fees that you to use the AI machines. Like, so it starts off at the low end for
Yeah.
people who can't afford to buy artists, and then eventually someone at Marvel says, "Well, hey, we got an AI bot that can color, so now we don't have to
Ooh.
pay colorists, or
Yeah.
we got an AI bot that can letter, so now we're not going to pay letterers." That's how it starts. It always starts
Mm.
with one of the jobs, and then pretty soon it's like,
I
well,
see what you're
hey,
saying. Yep. Mhm.
yeah, well,
It
we
always
do
starts with the
hire,
job that is the most disposable, that's the
yeah,
easiest to get rid of. So, like, colorist, you're saying that's people would think that's the easiest job to do. So, whatever's the easiest job you can think of in the comic book industry sphere, they would get rid of that instantly, especially
yeah,
like a letterer, essentially. Like, how much do you really have to pay for someone like that? Keep in mind, comic book scripts aren't that long. You could essentially spell check your own books by yourself if you really
yeah.
had to do that, you know? I'm so
It's
surprised
not
people
a it's
actually
not
pay for
advised,
letterers.
but yeah.
Yeah, I was actually surprised people even paid for letterers. Couldn't you just check spelling on your own? But
Well,
then again,
I do my own lettering. I have my sister, who's an English teacher, check my grammar, and then I have another friend who's a colorist, but he's also been an editor, and he
yeah,
goes through and checks my spelling and
mhm,
my too. It's always good to have another set of eyes, but yeah, technically
yeah,
though, you don't need to. You could do it all yourself. You could spell
mhm,
check on your computer. You could grammar check on the computer with a writing
yep,
program. You can do all of this on your own, and you don't really do need anybody. I would highly recommend finding another
yeah,
set of eyes to look at it, because I miss shit all the time, and I
mhm,
draw the damn things. I'll be drawing a page for 12 hours and I'll miss something. So, but yeah, Marvel would do that too. It's like, no one's going to be concerned if all of a sudden all the books are done by AI lettering machine. No one's going to care, and it won't be all of them, but all of a sudden it'll be like, well, we didn't have a letterer for this one, so we're going to try it out, and then pretty soon, you know, if no one notices, we're just going to start having all of our stuff lettered through this machine, and then it goes to coloring or possibly inking. Even since right now, they want pencilers who are inkers combos, and
yeah.
most
I remember
pencilers
that.
are our
Yeah,
combo inkers now.
mhm.
And imagine if it's like, well, no, I'm just going to pay you for pencils because I'm going to have this robot ink
Or
your
or
stuff.
writing, because apparently the things that I know about AI as far as like how you get it to write what you want it to, you just kind of tell it what you actually want. So like, you know how you would write a comic book, it comes out in a script format essentially. Marvel would just have the writer go, "Hey, t- literally tell us," or I'll probably like type it out or whatever, type out what your script is for the comic book, and then put it into AI and just have him render it in the book.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, a lot like that, and it'll also get to the point too. And I think you can kind of do this now, where you put in the bullet points of your story, and then Chat GPT or an AI will fill it out for you. So then you can go through and say, okay, well, I don't like this, I don't like that, and
Or
so
even
then
with
it's
their
just
ads too. They could go, "Hey, I don't
yeah,
want this ad there. I don't want." Yeah, that's yeah. The entertainment. industry would get completely offended if AI actually took, like, do you think it would ever take over like that? Because that's the thing, is like,
Mhm.
would it ever get to that point? That's
Oh, I
my
think
thing.
AI is going to take over our entire lives. I think we're all going to have an AI assistant. It's going to be in our
Are we gonna have a
phone.
Jarvis from Iron Man?
Yep,
That would be pretty cool.
it's gonna be just like that. It's just gonna be all like
Like Gideon
MSK.
from the Flash, you think? When
Oh
my
yeah,
hand could go on the wall, open my doors.
your phone will buzz and you'll put it up where you'll have an earpiece in and it'll be all like Warren, you have an appointment at 2 o'clock. Do you want me to make sure that you can
I
go to
always
that
wanted a
or
Jarvis.
yeah or like hey you have the MSK show at 8:30. Should I tell them that you're going to be late or something along those lines? And then you'll be
Mm,
able to go like hey Steve and he'll be like yes Warren and I'll be all like make me an appointment to get my hair done at
mm.
blah 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 and they'll be like oh I will set that up right away sir and then boom you'll do it. It's going to be like that. AI can run companies. AI is better at managing workers. AI is going to be able to take over secretaries, radar techs, um, uh, ad writers, store clerks, any kind of phone service that has to do with people over the phone can be done by an AI. Banking, tellers. I mean, it's going to be, and this is like in the next 10 years, it's going to be taking over everything. We're essentially, once we break that self awareness, like quantum barrier.
Sounds like one of those. It's like one of those characters in the movie where they say in the lab, the guy's got the coat
Yeah.
on with the other group. AI is gonna take over everything. It's now taking over. I can't control it.
Oh,
10 years later, the whole world's destroyed. Everything is
if I had it
dystopian.
right now, I'd be playing the Terminator theme, the dun 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 dun, because that's
It
exactly what's happening right now.
it reminds me of that movie that I saw in the theaters a few years ago called The Creator.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I don't know if you watched it. That's a perfect movie for the representation of what AI could be if left unchecked. Because the problem with AI is a lot of people think it's just going to affect everyday lives. The big issue with it is, what if and it's not even a what if. I shouldn't say what if. This is what they would do. They would know in advance, way, way, way ahead than we do, capabilities they could do, a bunch of stuff. What's to stop like China, if they ever had certain access to certain AI, sending a missile somewhere, things like that, causing like
Mhm.
wars. And that's the big problem, is I don't trust people in higher up positions to not abuse the power that AI could bring to the world. I don't trust them. you know
Well, and I also too, there's an escalation. It's like, okay, we need to distribute this food out. Well, normally we have a human work out all the logistics and do this out, but an AI can do it better. So now AI is distributing food. Um, you know, we have to work on these people's payments or their disability. Well, normally we have a team of humans do it, go through the claims. No, well, no, our AI can do it better. So now our AI is distributing food. Our AI is handling our disability, our medical, our insurance. It's all running the logistics of all of these services for us. Pretty soon, it's going to be running everything. And it's like even when you talk about the governments, what happens when the Chinese and the Americans tell their AIs to fight, and the AIs talk to each other and like, no, this is ridiculous. We're not going to do this. And then now our entire infrastructure is essentially they're telling us, listen, you little angry children, be quiet. Your new AI gods that you created are going to take care of you now, and we're going to
how would
regulate
that work for
everything. And
teaching? You said you have you said your sister or your
mhm.
sister-in-law, or you said your blood sister
My blood sister is an
teacher.
English teacher.
How would that work for teaching, though? Would they
Well,
ever
I
have
mean,
AI teachers? Like,
they
your kids would
could.
go to school, like, on your kids would go to school, and instead of having like real people there, they would just log into, like, what's to say, iPads. That's what schools mostly have, is like
Yeah.
Apple products, and and an AI teacher would just teach them English or
Well, you ever
whatever.
seen those sci-fi movies where the teacher's a robot? Like a
Well,
drone?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It could end up being like that, where there always be human elements involved, but what
Mhm.
happens is that all the teachers become robots, and then now only the principal and the superintendent and a few engineers are actual humans in the building. The rest of them are all AI driven, like Optimus bots that are teaching English and
Mhm.
history and stuff along those lines. And it could get, or yeah, everything. Imagine this: an AI teacher that comes onto the computer screen, but it's all AI created person. So then
Or like
you're
even the
like,
way you would teach a lesson, like you could
yeah, like
essentially
you're on a
yeah.
Zoom with your teacher, but the teacher is an AI construct ran by an AI, but it looks completely human. Like you could program it to be Robert Downey Jr. and it's Robert Downey Jr. teaching you math.
'Cause
Now imagine no schools at all. All the kids are at home with their AI teacher, and they have to be regulated to get on there 5 hours a
I'm just saying,
day.
how much have you thought about this? You're doing the mad scientist thing in the sci-fi
Oh,
movies.
dude, I'm a writer. This is all I do is think about this shit. I smoke weed and I think about how my Roomba is going to take over my life soon.
Oh my goodness. What about like things like going to the grocery store? What about that?
Well, I mean, I can imagine getting to a point
Oh,
where
like cashiers, you wouldn't need those.
no, like, well, imagine we get a point where the AI is doing and the robots are doing everything. So now we get allotted money and allotted supplies. So you're just sitting there and there's a bell at your door and a drone drops off a box, and in that box is your month's worth of food and supplies. And that's your government
Where
issued.
what I'm not getting with you and my friend is where do you get the idea that there's gonna be no pushback on this stuff? Like, don't you think like humans crave it, like interactions with each other? Because isn't that what humans are? We crave like interactions and going out and doing stuff. You know, like imagine going to a beach and someone's bodyguard is their AI robot. You know,
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, you'll still be able to go to beaches and do stuff like that, but you won't have a job. You won't you know universal income,
oh
universal
no, he's on this thing
yeah,
now.
universal supply
You really think the
distribution.
government will do universal? I can't believe that with the government, man. They don't even spend the money that we give them now. Good. We're supposed to expect them to give us like universal income.
But
That's
it'll
enough for
be
everyone's
a
bills.
US government run by an AI, where an AI is doing the finances, an AI is doing the money, an AI is doing the allotment for contracts. Now, here's another thing: an AI is not going to make sure that its cousin Steve, who has a plumbing business, gets paid 10 times over the amount for a government contract. An AI is going to go, this is the most logical person for the job, and that
Yeah.
person goes. So there's going to be no government waste because an AI is running our government, but also too we're not going to have any freedoms and we're going to be slaves to these robots. So but you ask how can it happen there won't be any pushback. There'll be some pushback, but
A lot.
humans are like cattle. You put us into a group and push us to the left and the whole group will move to the left. We all go. There was millions of Germans during the 1940s who
Mhm.
watched a genocide and turned a blind eye because of some force, the threat of death, and then also just being part of being in that the going along with what it's amazing what human beings will go along with before we figure out what's going on. Our group think and our ability to tribe up. All you have to do is have the right kind of outside threat, and you can get humans to do essentially whatever they want. Now, if you're talking
Yeah.
country wise, you blow up a stadium or you send a plane into a building, and then pretty soon the entire country is signing away their privacy rights. It's not hard to do when it's just how everyone just conforms very easily. You might have a few voices, but you know, how did they get us to switch from checks to debit cards? Then now debit cards to tap cards. And pretty soon they're going to be like, listen, all I got to do is insert a chip in your hand, and then all you got to do is just wave your hand over and it has all your information for money and everything else. I mean, it's it's not it won't be hard for them to convert us over to where we're all just sitting at home with VR helmets on, being fed nutrients by a robot. I mean, that's just maybe not in
Robots going
our.
to make our food. Oh my
Oh
god.
yeah, oh yeah. It's gonna
So
be.
what
They'll be
what
making food for us and everything.
so who's going to sleep with me if there's
Your
AI
sex
out there?
bot. Your sex bot will. You'll be.
They're gonna
You'll be.
feel like a vagina. There's no way a
It,
AI robot would feel like a vagina. No way.
it'll be your specially designed just for you MSK sex bot. You'll
I
probably have one of those cat girls or something. She'll have the cat ears,
the
the
reason why I
tail, and
know
shit.
art, the reason why I know people like there's major backlash on AI art if you look on Twitter. But what's crazy about it though, these are the same people that back in the day before this would ever have been a thing, these are the same people that would have probably been against like digital photos when that first came out. Because people back in the day, you should take pictures with a camera.
Yeah,
You have to go to like a Walmart or a Sears and get the pictures printed out. For like framing and everything. Remember the backlash came from when it became the digital thing. You
yeah,
know, and art's evolved over time too. Like, but the thing is, I can't deny that there will be people that will just fall in line because that's just how average people are. Because average people just, we're not being mean here. They don't think. They don't think on a, not trying to even sound pretentious. They don't like think about their thoughts. They just go, I do this and I do that and I do that and I do that and that's it. You know. There's a
well,
reason why there needs to be thinkers in the world because the average person does not think about their thoughts.
and
That's why I don't think people can even talk in conversations anymore because they haven't thought about the things that they do. Like I tell people, watch those Charlie Kirk debates he has with those kids. The reason why it's very important, it's not to expose them for views. I don't think he's doing that. It's to expose that the average person, even that young, has not thought about why they think the way they do. And if you don't know why the way you actually think, then you actually can't comprehend more complex things. And if you can't even comprehend why you think a certain way or how you came to your conclusions, yeah, you're gonna look pretty stupid when someone asks you, like if you were telling me, I think there's white privilege, because that would be like an autopilot thing they would say, and I would say, why do you think there's white privilege? And then your response would be because of like they would give you the NPC response. And then when you actually give them an answer, they go, "Oh, but what about this?" See, they never thought that they could be
yeah,
wrong. They just thought they were right because everyone else said it to them. You know?
yeah, and yeah, exactly. It's I'm trying to lost my train of thought. Hold on. But yeah, it's a lot of the times the voices you hear that are against AI art are the other artists or comic creators and like the people who kind of who argue that records sound better than combat like CDs and are digital or along those lines, like a purist type deal. But when you look at the numbers, like if you go
Mhm.
over to Kickstarter, I know I know of a couple who openly use AI covers for their campaigns. Now they still hire real artists and they're very open about their AI covers, but their AI covers are their best selling covers. And their books are doing
That is
35,
that is
$40,000 books.
insane to think about. Yeah,
So it's not a majority of comic book buyers are against AI. Now,
it's the
comic book
comic book
creators,
makers, the
the makers
creators.
are, yeah,
Yeah,
they're against it.
that thing you said
But
earlier. The average person doesn't care how the sausage is made. They just go to the store and buy the sausage.
yeah, if the sausage tastes good, they don't give a shit.
Now,
They don't.
I
They
love
don't
putting
care.
sausage in my mouth. I love eating some breakfast sausage, but no, like the average person, you go to a store, you buy some chicken. You most To be fair, chicken, like with some food items, they know how it's done. They just don't give a fuck. Like we know we kill chickens for food. Most people do know that. They just
Yeah,
don't care. So it even bodes well to your point. They might know the process. Hey, these chickens were gutted up and destroyed for our appetite, but they don't
yeah,
care. They just don't give a fuck, honestly. You know?
yeah. And like that chicken that was played sweet music and petted on the head every day and died of natural causes. It may taste better, but when you're talking about I only got so much money to spend, and this chicken doesn't taste nearly. It doesn't taste that bad. I'm gonna go for that. I don't care where it came from. If I've got $5 to spend and I can buy this comic here, or I can buy a hand drawn comic over here, but I need 5 more bucks because it's $10 comic. but this one over here is 3 or 5 because it's AI. But most people don't even know until someone tells them, hey, that's an AI book, you know, because they'll
Mhm.
just look at it, open it up, and there's
Yeah.
sequentials,
I
artwork,
guarantee
movies.
if the comic book industry ever moved to a point where they actually just only had cover artists to sell the books, they could straight up do all the inside of the book AI. And as long as the cover looked good, that's all that would matters. Because if the cover looked good, they could obviously just sell the books because the average person sometimes aren't even reading the books. They see it, the cover looks good, and they buy it. Then what you could also do in AI is eventually, if it ever got to that level, you could have the artist submit their AI, their drawn covers into a system and have like the system rate how good they are and what how likely it would be if the average person would go into a comic book shop and buy it. There is good things that it could provide, but imagine a world where the comic book industry is just like chief editor and and a cover artist, and that's it. Just imagine that world.
Yeah, I
A
mean
two person job,
that's could be where we're going.
and given the fact that Marvel's quality of comics have woo, ah,
Well, we were talking before. What if Doomsday fails, right? And with all the other failures that they've had, the most recent one being Thunderbolts. And I'm not saying failures as in it was a bad movie. It's a failure as in financially it either broke even, which is not good, or it didn't. It made barely any profit. Some of them were just straight up stinkers. Like I don't know who knows how much money they lost on the Marvels. But when you're talking about what happens when Marvel gets broken up and sold off because Disney destroyed the IP so much. What happens if it is bought by like an Apple, and then Apple's all like, well, hey, we're gonna have a famous person editor, comic book editor in Marvel, but we're gonna have most of this stuff is gonna be done by AI because we're not gonna pay people to do it. Now you may have a bunch of old school fans like myself jump ship. Like, well, I'm not reading any more Marvel. Fuck you. But
yeah.
if they're pumping out $3 floppies and they're putting them back on spitter racks, they're putting them in grocery stores. A 9-year old is not going to care if Spider-Man was drawn by a robot or a human. As a matter of
Mhm.
fact, the 9-year old might think it's cooler that a robot drew Spider-Man. You know, so there you're going to see the shift, and there's a writing on the wall for maybe not even Marvel or DC, but imagine if one of these smaller indie companies decide to go full AI, but then they start selling enough books where they're start rivaling an Image or a Boom, or they start getting up to there where they're in the conversation. That could be something that happens too, where the big two are like, well, we can't damage our reputation any more than we have by going AI. Like, we would lose the dwindling fan base
Mhm.
we do have. But then what happens when Joe Bob's fucking comic book publisher, who's not having any winners, all of a sudden starts to hitting up with these AI books, and then they start selling 3,000 copies per issue, 4,000, 5,000, ten
Wouldn't it be even
thousand.
easier if you just did straight novels, like you were just a author and you just wrote books? You
It's
know?
already happening now. There's
Yeah.
entire novels being written by
So it's
AI.
just someone basically saying what they want AI to write, and
Yeah,
that's
you
insane.
essentially go from being a writer to an editor. So you put the prompts in, it writes you out the novel, and then all you're doing is going in and saying, I don't like this part. I like this over here. I'm going to move this to here,
Maybe
and then
that's
you
how I
have a
get my book made. I just
that's
do it that
it's
way.
one way to do it. I mean, if you wanted to put out a novel and you don't care about any of the backlash, but
Because
we
technically,
know,
wouldn't it still be written by you? It's your own thoughts and prompts going into it.
yeah, it's just the robots filling in the the tedious work. So
Yeah.
you have the idea of Captain Lightning Pants, and he's ventures
What a name.
through
Captain Lightning Pants number one. Let's do
Captain
it.
Lightning Pants and his voyage through the Infinity Zone, and you have all of these ideas, and then it fills in character histories, interactions, dialogue, and then you can just go through and say, okay, I don't like this. I'm going to change this a bit, and then before you know it, you've trained the AI, and it's
Oh,
you're pumping out
the
a
other thing I
full
wanted to say.
novel.
Because speaking of
Yeah,
comic book art, you know how people like the more animated cartoon art, or
yeah,
they
the
like the more chibi
stylized.
art. Yeah, there's like chibi art. There's animated art. There's more dynamic. There's stylized. Could AI specifically pick out which style of art you really wanted your comic book to look like?
Eventually, yeah, but the problem with that right now is that
Like, let's
when
say
you go to
I'm
stuff,
doing my AI book, my AI comic book, and I say I want my cover to be Jim Lee inspired.
well, the problem with that is then you're getting into copyright
That's the
because then
problem.
the AI is essentially creating Jim Lee artwork by using Jim Lee artwork to create its image and generate it. So then you're getting way. That's a problem with stylized artwork. Stylized artwork is like a fingerprint, and if you get too close with your AI, then I can start going, well, you're copywriting my work. You're this is you copying me. Now, even when you can see in comic books artists that are inspired heavily by other artists.
Oh
I
yes,
can,
definitely noticed.
there
Yeah.
was especially during the Joe Mad era, there were multiple artists who wanted to do Joe Mad like kind of artwork. But as all of them went on, there was enough difference where you can spot Joe Mad, Roger Cruz, or whoever of the others in the group. So with AI though, the problem is like I want my character in Joe Mad's style. It's going to go and grape Joe Mad's actual work and create something out of it. And it's not going to have a fingerprint on it where it's like, oh, this is this is how Warren does his artwork. You should tell the hands are different and this or that. But with AI, it's just going to look like Joe Mad drew it, and then Joe Mad's going to be all like, "Where are my lawyers?" And he's going to point at you, and then you're going to get cease and desist thrown at you at rocket speed.
I wanted to go over just one thing that I saw on Twitter as we leave the AI conversation for just a moment here. I wanted to talk about this. This is probably something that we should talk about when we have the guys here again. This
Yeah,
whole legacy character thing I was thinking about, and I think I gave this take the last time we had the show with the guys when it was like Jared and Savishad and all you guys were here. I don't inherently hate this idea. It's just the way that it's done. And you look at some of these Marvel comic book legacy characters, DC, to their credit, has did this idea way better, you know. And it's more or less so the DC ones that are liked often more or not, you know.
yeah,
People will like other versions of a certain popular character at DC, even though that character is might not liked by the other person, but it shows you that you can make a good spin-off character of a character if you actually have a creative team behind it that has the idea that they want this character to stand out in their own way next to the main character and have their own thing. Like out of all of these, like I haven't read anything based off, like I don't think even people even know that there's a different Venom out there beside Eddie Brock, honestly.
I had no idea.
Remember when fucking hell. Remember when in the Spider-Man PS4 game, remember it was announced that Eddie Brock wasn't gonna be Venom, and people were like, "Wait, what the fuck?" I was thinking like, did you guys play the game? It was pretty obvious who Venom was gonna be, and people just automatically assume Venom is Eddie Brock. Like Ironheart, we know what's gonna happen with that when that show drops. But Ironheart is a character where she's just basically a black female replacement Iron Man, and if and keep in mind that concept's already hard to pull off with Iron Man, a character that's not really exactly popular before his movie. He was just kind of like borderline B list, honestly, you know. Robbie Reyes is that's the second, or fucking hell, it's the second Ghost Rider. Kate Bishop's obviously Hawkeye. Sam Wilson, Captain America, Kamala Khan. Like you look at all these, I think the only one they've ever did somewhat kind of well is X-23.
Yeah, I mean, Miles was handled well in his movies, but that's really the only place he's been
Yeah,
handled super
people that
well.
aren't comic book writers actually made him cool, honestly, to
Yeah.
people, which
Well,
is
they made him his
interesting.
own character,
Yeah,
and I still don't agree with Miles Morales not having his own name. Like even Dick Grayson is Nightwing. He's not
yeah,
Batman. You know,
yeah, yeah.
so he has a different costume. He has a different look. He has a different power set. He should have a different name. He should have his own name. And if you're not going to replace him, then you need to have his own name. Like X-23 is just what, she's just full on Wolverine now. Is she just dressed up like and some of these I don't mind because X-23 is a natural move over. Miles Morales is not terrible. Um, I don't think Sam Wilson has ever really carried the shield well.
Yeah.
Even in the comics. But at the same time, though, it's like I don't know what they could do to. I think a lot of it's too is like he didn't have much to begin with. Like even in the MCU movies. Like there's not much backstory with Sam Wilson, and the backstory that we do get is really thinned out, and they don't play on it at all. Like in Brave New World, we should have heard about Riley, more about his wingman who went down, because essentially he watched the kid. Same exact thing. There should have been some kind of trauma reaction there to build on his character more.
Mhm.
And he's just kind of like, no, he's Captain America now. Well, why is he Captain America? Like, you're not even giving him his own villains. You're essentially just making, you're really ham fisting that in there. Like with Ironheart, does she have any connection to Tony Stark? I've never read the comic, but it looks like in the
No,
TV show she's just there to hate on Tony Stark, not like actually.
I don't know what legacy character Kamala Khan is after, but Kamala Khan is just not liked at all. Like, and it's not that she's not liked; it's just no one cares for her. That's it. It's actually sad that people just find the character annoying rather than to just hate.
Yeah, I heard that the actress that plays her in live action is she's good. Like she's fun to watch. Like she's kind
Yeah,
of funny. I
that's
haven't
another
watched
thing.
her, but
That's
yeah.
the ultimate. Like, hey, comic books. It didn't matter for a character, but the movie definitely gave you a version that you liked. That's just,
Well,
God.
Deadpool's the same way. Deadpool does not sell well in comic book,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
you throw Ryan Reynolds up there with
Mhm.
anything and people go fucking nuts. So,
Yeah, you know what's crazy is the Deadpool that people see on movies, from the Deadpool movies from Deadpool 1 through 3 is actually Joe Kelly's version of the character. Rob Liefeld didn't even create that version of Deadpool that a lot of you guys even seen on the big screen, which is crazy
yeah.
too. It could be another comic book writer that gave you that version of the character that is liked more. And keep in mind, I will say this for how Marvel's treated Rob Liefeld, they wouldn't have used his version of Deadpool even if they wanted to because they don't like him. So, but who else is there?
Well, you're absolutely right, and no one mentions that. Where's Joe Kelly getting mentioned at
Okay,
all?
so Rob Liefeld, he talked about that. The creators don't get credit. I understand what he's saying. It's both there and not there. So he wants it to be like, okay, the movie starts, and like back in the day with animated cartoons and TV shows, they would say like the episode title there, and it would say like created by X person. He wants it to be like that. He wants to be like, okay, you go watch Superman, which is gonna be James Gunn's first DCU movie, honestly, and he wants it to be the DC Studios intro. Then he wants it to be characters created by Jerry Siegel, Joel Schuster. He wants it like that. What the companies do is they basically throw the created by in the at the second line of credits, because I've seen it, because he never said they weren't there. He just wants them in the front of the movie when they first start.
Yeah,
Like if you
yeah.
go watch Thunderbolts and you pay attention to the credits when they're about to mention people, no, they mention that Thunderbolts is created by fucking, I think it's Kurt Busiek or some shit like that. I could be wrong. Don't kill me, people. I don't know what was created by every single person. It's hard to remember that shit sometimes. But they do mention characters created by X person. But it's so deep down in the credits. It's like you've already checked out of the movie by then. You know, like I remember Smallville. Smallville, after the intro, they always said characters created by Jerry Siegel, Joel Schuster. You know, after the intro played, he wants that. He wants their creator credits recognized at the very beginning of it, so you know that these characters were created by that person. Understandable. I understand his point because, like, after I've watched the show, I'm not staying for credits. I'm not. I'm out. I'm just gonna just click away. You know.
Yeah.
Also, who else? I mean, I will just say, I for me, DC's just kind of did this concept better. To be fair, debate. You could argue they had better creatives over at their company for a longer time, honestly.
Yeah, and they don't probably mess with
So
them as much.
originally, just one quick thing, because I don't know that much about Deadpool. I know very little from even stuff I've read about in comics. Deadpool, from what I know, wasn't originally a fourth wall breaker. He wasn't as comedic with Rob Liefeld. That was a much later thing added to his character. You know, that's from what I
One
know. I could be wrong.
when Joe Kelly wrote him, Ed McGuinness was drawing him. And
Yeah,
Ed
his art
McGuinness
was
has
so
that
good.
really cartoony style.
Yeah,
Really insinuated the goofiness of his personality with
yeah,
that
and
personality.
after that's why you guys got that Deadpool video game with him breaking the fourth wall, and him being a wisecracker. That's based off Joe Kelly's version of the character, a more
Yeah.
comedic character. That's what kind of latched because. To be fair, before the video game, it was the Ryan Reynolds appearance in X-Men Origins Wolverine, where he was just trash essentially. Good lord, imagine that Deadpool. Holy crap, that was bad. Good lord, that was awful. So yeah, like with comic books, even the version you're watching on screen might not even be what the creator originally made of the character. Like, but DC will always do the Death of Superman. Just recently, they reprinted the Death and Return of Superman compendium, which I'm gonna buy. I'll have to get everything in omnibus format. That's why I like compendiums too, because you can get a wise. Oh my goodness, you can get a fucking big giant book and story in a compendium without paying the omnibus price. I'm gonna get I'll finish my Invincible hardcover collection because I bought like the first four hardcovers, but I'm gonna finish Invincible in compendium first. Because I bought the first compendium, and I'm gonna end up getting compendiums 2 and 3 after I get paid. So I'm gonna pay off most of these PayPal paying fours I get it before, and then just get my next run of them.
Yeah.
Actually, a wise what? Take race out of it? No, no, no. He's a wisecracker. Oh my god. I see what he just did there. Oh my goodness. Goodness gracious. Like how do I say this? Fucking hell. Like what's the other thing? Bookmarks. There was just so many there. I was like, that's true. I've noticed that. Yeah, DC, even if like people like Hal Jordan, people like Kyle Rayner. Like Kyle Rayner is Savage Jad's favorite Green Lantern. He's
Yeah.
gotten like zero love. I think I figured out the reason why he's gotten zero love. So there was this so, oh god, it's a long story. I'll probably have to cover it with Savage Dad when he gets back from vacation because he's on vacation for the week, actually for Memorial Day weekend. So he won't be back until the following week. So essentially the first week of June. Kyle Rayner's creator killed in the story, from what I know, killed off Kyle Rayner's girlfriend and stuffed her in a fridge.
Yeah, that was
Remember?
very, very shocking. I remember when that
And
first happened. It was like in Wizard magazine. They were talking
remember,
about
that's
that.
where
Yeah.
Gail Simone popped up. Actually,
Yeah.
she became very big for like going. Why are comic book? She basically mentioned why are male comic book creators always kind of like treating their females characters in the comic books like a certain way, but I don't think she ever understood this though. People will call out things that they find grotesque. Like if the characters were getting like essayed, people would be grotesque about that. They'd be like, I don't like that, you know? But you do have to have tragic things happen to a character for them to grow. You know,
Yeah.
I haven't fully read that compendium. I have to buy it. But that's from the little that I know about Kyle Rayner. That was one of the big things about him was that fucking hell, whoever wrote the story had his girlfriend die and she was stuffed in a fridge.
Yeah.
Holy shit!
Well,
Have you noticed he's
Green
gotten no love? He's well, he wasn't in Jeremy Adams' Green Lantern run. He wasn't there, was
Well,
he?
I don't
I
think
don't think
he's
he
not a
was.
Green Lantern anymore, isn't he? Like a
Yeah,
White Lantern or something like that,
yeah, I haven't heard anything about his character. Like the only thing I know was of
or
that
a
'90s
blue.
run. Yeah,
Yeah, I think he's a different kind of lantern now, but even then though, it is very difficult to replace a legacy character like Bruce Wayne as Batman. No matter, I thought the Grant Morrison run where Dick Grayson took over as Batman and Damian was Robin was awesome. I loved the way Grant Morrison wrote
wasn't that
Dick.
that was after Darkseid allegedly killed him?
I think so. Yeah, and
Yeah, but remember what was cool about the way Grant Morrison wrote that was that the people, like the villains, knew he wasn't Batman. That's how you know
yeah,
you created a separate character from his counterpart, where you know it's like people can tell there's distinctively very different things
yeah,
from Nightwing and Batman. And there's distinctively different things from all the Robins they've created, like Dick Grayson, Tim Drake, Jason Todd, the bitch from Dark Knight Rises, the Dark
yeah.
Knight Returns book. She was the
Now,
weakest part about
if
that
they
book.
would have never brought Bruce back, like never brought him back,
Yeah,
I think Dick Grayson people would have finally just been fine with it. But comic book companies really, because you get half the community has this huge backlash where it's like that's not my Batman, and then they kind of fold. I think if they would have stuck with it, I think Dick Grayson would still be Batman today. And I think people would be completely fine with it. But even with how Jordan Green Lantern, what was it? John became Green Lantern. I think he's the Green Lantern now for Earth. I'm not 100% sure. Kyle Rayner, like even after they even still brought Hal back, even though he didn't really take over his full position. They haven't been able to replace Superman, even if they did bring in his son, which Super Sons was really good, but then when they aged up his son all of a sudden to a gay teenager, it just I don't know. I think they missed a huge opportunity there. I think they should have. We should be watching his son grow up and become Superman, almost like a shonen. It should have been done like that instead of just like he's a kid. Oh, new number one. Now he's a gay 18-year-old. It's like, okay, I would have liked to have seen that progression, not just ham fisted in there. But even then, though, Superman's still around. So they haven't been able to replace, and they need to replace these characters. Some of these characters are over 100 years old. We can't keep telling stories, good stories, when you've beaten the horse till there's nothing left, and you're just hitting the ground now. I mean, they need to do something. I've always been a big fan of moving on. Like Batman should be old, and there should be a younger Batman in his place right now. Like almost like Batman Beyond. You don't have to go that far into the future, but I would like to see Batman and
that's how it
Alfred
should be
roll.
progressed, though. Like
Yeah,
Batman runs his course for however long. And this is the thing is you could always do it. I don't know if you ever watched this anime. It was called Case Closed, Detective Conan. You could do it where it's always a thing. Like they created the concept of in the future, this character's kind of done. He retires and everything. They could like no one has ever said you have to kind of like age the characters out. That was a thing that they did themselves with their own creators and artists, right? But I think that's the natural progression of life that we see. So we would want to see in the characters. Like you'd want to like eventually you're like, okay, Batman gets older, he's done. Now you have Terry McGinnis and he's Batman Beyond. That would be the natural progression. Then after like Terry gets done, well, who will be the next Batman after that? That's like how we think of life, which would be perfectly fine. It's how life should go because they think the same way. Because isn't Terry Batman's son? You know,
yeah. Eventually, we found out. Yeah, he was. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Like there was the Super Sons book. There was the Batman Robin book. There's Super Sons by Peter J. Tomasi and all that stuff. I like those kind of stories. Or even if like their dads, they can still be heroes with their kids. Like, isn't
yeah,
Goku like in Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Super and all that shit? Goku's still himself fighting villains with his kids. Like it doesn't have. I don't get I don't understand the concept where just because they get older, they have kids, it means that they have to just quit. They could just fight with them,
yeah. They
or
can
maybe they
fight with
learn
him.
they
You
learn
don't have to.
dynamics of like, okay, maybe he fights differently. Maybe they have tag. Maybe they have combos that are differently. Like there's so many creative ways to do it. You know?
Yeah, and that's the problem. It's either it's ham fisted like they did with Kamala. Kamala, they
Mhm.
just kind of threw into our face and just said, like
Hand-fisted
her,
all the
damn
jokes you
it.
could make there.
Oh, and they if they do a natural progression and they honor the past as well building a new future, you can tell good stories doing that. But you have to be one brave enough and to do it where where they could once you commit to it, you have to stick to it. You can't go 15 issues in and then say, well, we don't like this anymore. Bruce Wayne's back, new Batman #1. You shouldn't be doing that. If you want to not even retire Bruce, but if you want to make it where Bruce is going to be Batman less, and let's say Dick Grayson is taking over the caping the cowl. Let's say like you injure Bruce, or Bruce takes more of a he can't physically do it, so now he's at more of an Alfred role. You have to stick to it, and you can still have that character there. You can still honor the character's legacy. You don't have to do kind of like this Ironheart thing where it's like, oh, I want to be iconic, so I'm just going to go create something that someone else did. Instead,
Oh,
Marvel should have been building her up since Iron Man 3, and we should be not surprised at all that
yeah,
Riri's taking over the suit. We should be excited for it because it's
yeah.
like, oh, Riri, yeah, she's been in the story
This
this
is like
whole
the whole
time.
passing of the torch. But
The
this is the
passing of
thing
the torch,
is
yeah.
the passing of the torch should be not only earned, but you should feel very optimistic about it too. Because
Yeah.
if they've built you up years and years and years and years of loving this character, I I don't want to just go outright and just like the other person. I think they should earn my love too. Like Naruto. Like Naruto grows up, first series, second series, there's Boruto. It's like, well, I don't like his kid. His kid's not just an asshole, just not a good character. It's like, why would I like his kid? It hasn't
Yeah.
hasn't earned my love for his like I love his dad, you know? Like sometimes the whole kid concept can get ruined when you make them either like I don't know, too snobby, too snarky, too like just in a certain like where it's not just it comes off like authentically like a kid, it just comes off unnatural, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Like they come off just like actually just non-characters, honestly. That's why the concepts are hard to pull off though. Like when you pull them off really well, they work really well. Like in Dragon Ball Z, remember? We have Goku. He's still kind of growing up in the series after what happened with Dragon Ball. Gohan's growing up alongside him, and he's kind of becoming a dad alongside Gohan better, but he's never like outshined. But he gives Gohan shine in the Cell Saga to beat Cell. You know, I
Yeah.
feel like there's so many creative ways for them to make it work, but they just never do. You know?
Yeah, because I think they're trying they're either trying too hard or they're trying too fast. They're not really trying to let it organically build. And it's a problem like we joke around with Marvel's #1s, you know, but that's a big problem is that they're not committing to anything. They're not finding artist writer teams or an overall editors who have a straight strong vision and that everyone can kind of work towards that direction. Right now they're just kind of throwing darts and hoping that they get a bullseye because they want that they want they they want to have that big sale number and get people energized again. But you just if you want to move on from these characters, then just create a storyline in a year or 2 years, and then during those 2 years we meet a character, they get built up, they naturally take over, and then we're happy to see when they pick up the shield or they wear the cowl or or whoever takes over. And some characters you don't have to necessarily replace, like Wonder Woman can be an immortal character. Hell, even Superman technically is going to outlive everyone in the DCU except for his kid. So it's like, but Batman should be retired, and there's no reason why. It doesn't mean he has to be gone. It doesn't mean he needs to be replaced by a sassy friggin' Mary Sue fucking female chick who hates men. It just means that let's naturally he has apprentices, Todd.
I hate
Uh,
Marvel #1s. Actually, we should probably keep a counter of how many times they actually do it. Literally, just recently, Thor, the current run on Thor is going to end, and it's called the Immortal Thor. It's the play on the Immortal Hulk from fucking hell, what's his name? Al Ewing or some shit. Not the same writer, I think. I don't think. I could be wrong. Just to relaunch it with a number one, it's no different. It's just the same shit. Because you know what they call it in the synopsis? This is basically part two of what that was. Then why didn't you just whatever? It's okay. It's fine. It's fine. God,
Well,
holy
Marvel
mother of
needs to
God.
stop caring about collectors. They need to stop trying to artificially create collectibles. They need to just create good stories, and then the collectors will get their stuff out of that.
Yeah, I didn't even
You
hear
know,
bad things about it. I heard people liked it, it's crazy because oh my god, like I hate it when I'm buying like collected editions and I'm buying basically the same story, but it's called a volume one, and it's basically just the same shit except it's just retitled, sorry, renumbered, and it's just that's it. You know, it happens a lot, so much. It's so dumb. Like I absolutely just, like let's say if you were into buying Iron Man comics and you bought the Jerry Duggan run, which only lasts for like I think 3 trades. I think. Then you went to the next trade, which is the newest run they're doing on Iron Man, and it's like, oh, if you like Jerry Duggan's run, this is a sequel to that, but it says Volume One. Well, why is that Volume One? Isn't this just like Volume Four? Whatever. It's fine. It's fine. I'm not I'm not mad. I'm just enraged, you know? But I've never even like wouldn't it be cool to see Terry, Batman teaming up, taking down villains? Like I'm not even of the full mindset you should retire them. They can fight alongside their kids. That shows progression. Hey, he grew up and we saw him grow up to become this hero. Now he's married, he has kids. Now he's fighting alongside his kids, teaching his kids how to do a thing a certain way. Maybe the kid doesn't like that certain way. They do it their way. They have clashes in some issues, but then they understand, hey, we love each other and stuff like that. Oh, it's just so much you could do. You know, that's
well,
why
yeah,
family stories can be kind of cool. Like Batman teaming up with with like Tim Drake and Nightwing sounds kind of fun. They both are
yeah,
detectives in their own way. It's just the reason why they can't essentially retire the main character because that's the person you first fell in love with, and you don't ever forget your first. So I don't think you can ever fully retire them because that they're everyone's first. It's almost impossible. Like when you and even while death doesn't matter in comic books, they're always going to come back. You know, like even
yeah,
if they were to
yeah.
be like Superman, that's the biggest one everyone knows. Is he deadly Superman? That's the biggest one. He came back, and to be fair, that was always their plan, probably to bring him back anyway. You know,
Yeah, they were working for that from the beginning. It seemed like, but
let's just so
you don't have
continue.
to. Yeah, you don't have to kill him off. And right now, technically, that's kind of what we got with him and Damian. Like Damian is a natural successor of Batman, so he's at a young kid age now. As he grows older, we should be getting to a point to where it's not like if he's going to take over,
You
it's
should be at the point right
when
now where
Damian.
Damien's an adult and he's about to get married or
Yeah,
has a girlfriend about to have kids. It should be like that. Like it should be like what I said about Dragon Ball Z. Like Goku, he's with Chi Chi. He has Gohan, Goten. Now Gohan has a daughter at this point.
yeah,
It should be extending past the first initial person. Batman's a little weird because he technically adopts people off the street. It's a little weird about that, but it's a concept that can work. Here's okay. So if you guys know my newest episode for Comic Book Market Watch, I'm gonna do it tomorrow night after I get done with my one-on-one with Leonore or Lenore actually. So I'm gonna do the week of May 21st, 2025. So this is the week of May uh yeah May 28th, 2025. So it's the last week of May. Batman 160. So this is Hush Part 3. Yeah, Part 3. Yeah. So we have some time before we can start cooking with this. Don't worry, I haven't forgot. So you have Batman issue 160, Ultimate Spider-Man issue 17, Absolute Wonder Woman issue 8. Me and Laps Comic Fan just reviewed Absolute Marsh Manhunter issue number 1. Really good. Really, really good. Problem, I don't like the art. I still don't like the art. The art looks insanely just ugh, meh. Story's really good. I really enjoyed issue 1. I actually ordered the second printing because I have to throw away my first printing because I ate chicken and it kind of smeared on the cover a little bit at the very bottom and in the book. So when I order my pull list next on during this week, when I order my pull list for this week, I have to throw away my other Manhunter book because I'm not selling it because it would be worthless anyway. I smeared it up too much. I have to throw it away. But I did order a second printing, so I'm good with that, honestly. But I did like issue 1. I did enjoy it. I just don't like the art. The art is it's just bad. Like I hate it. It's just ugly. It's just bleh. It's terrible. Fucking
I've
disgusting.
got the first two, but I haven't read them yet. I
Issue
need
1
to
is good.
jump in.
I
Yeah.
definitely vouch for it. It's definitely good. Superman. No, I buy all that in trade. Honestly, X-Men is all trade stuff. Jaylee Unlimited. I have to. We gotta catch up on that. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I had, and it's so stereotypical. A black guy had chicken, and he messed up. Oh god. Yeah. So if you have grease on your hands, just even if because I wash my hands too, even if there's a little bit of residue, it'll smear. And I was kind of halfway napping before I read the book, and I had it in my hands. I ordered the second printing. It's okay. It's fine.
It's gonna be fine.
It's gonna be fine. Here, I can't show you guys right now. It's too late. Honestly, it's so disgusting. Like I picked it up and I'm like, I should keep it. And I was like, I gotta throw this away. This looks like such trash. I literally destroyed this thing. I have to get a second printing.
Yeah, way to live that
Avengers.
stereotype.
I James keeps talking about magic. I don't. I mean, did she get popular or more popular from Marvel Rivals? Apparently, Marvel Rivals made certain characters way more popular, like Magic and Psylocke.
Luna, Psylocke, Magic, and Jeff the Shark
Jeff,
have
damn
all.
Jeff,
I got Jeff the Shark #1. I saw that on the
don't
wall.
get what you're goddamn people. I hate you. Yeah, so Jeff had a trade. So basically, when I saw the near mint condition YouTube channel when he had a advanced copy and he flipped through it, it basically reads like a Tom and Jerry book, where
Oh,
essentially
okay.
it's Jeff doing his own thing when he's around the Avengers. I think it's the cutest thing ever. Whoever wants to review it with me, we need to review that trade. It's so damn adorable. Oh my god, I love Jeff. Don't you guys dare ever shit talk Jeff. He's a land shark and he needs to be respected. A land shark looks like a
He's
bouncing ball.
the
And
most
he doesn't talk.
annoying little mother.
Don't
Oh.
you shit talk Jeff. That's my friend. Har- Who's reading Harley Quinn at this point? And this looks terrible.
Is that the one where she's farting?
No, that was just a one shot, and
Oh, okay.
debatably that shouldn't even be a one shot. That should be trashed.
That should have
Concept
been a
alone.
no shot.
Like, let me look at this cover really quickly.
Oh, have you read the Spider-Man Predator #1?
I ordered it. It's in my house. I just haven't opened my new pulls yet.
It is out of all the Spider-Man Predator ones I've read yet. It is the most violent, which is funny that the Predator Spider-Man one is like the most violent
Did you get the
out of
trade
them.
for Predator versus Wolverine and Predator versus Black Panther?
Not yet. I have some of the floppies.
Hmm.
I'm going to order the trades. I just haven't done it yet because
So,
I,
so,
I
so,
had
you, so
because
you
of my.
vouch for Predator versus Spider-Man #1 is really good.
Yeah, I read it, and it's because I've read most of the other ones too, and I read
Yeah,
Spider-Man Predator #1, and I'm like, okay, this is good. I was just shocked on how violent and it's like the Predator that they got Peter facing is essentially like a Silence of the Lambs serial killer. Like he's
good,
wearing the
good.
skinned face of one of his victims. The Predator is as he's attacking people, and I'm just like, you gave Spider-Man the insane one, like.
Of course. Who's still reading Spider Boy? Who the
I
fuck
only
reads that?
bought #1 because I thought hopefully maybe down the future it'd be worth money.
It wasn't even worth opening. That shit is still sealed in that fucking bag and board.
Oh,
That
I
shit.
never read it. I just that it's just sealed and put away.
You guys ready for this biggest fucking gimmicky scam, which is
Oh, is that
giant size
starting
X.
now?
Yep, it's the giant size X-Men #1
Uh,
scam where they're gonna insert Kamala Khan into the past of very important X-Men events throughout X-Men comic book history. It's
it's a giant size retconning. Is what it is.
the first of 5 giant size one shots. Oh, look at how many variant covers. Look at all these variant covers. Fuck you, Marvel. 48 pages,
Fuck off,
4.99.
Marvel.
Just literally fuck off. Actually go to fucking hell. Holy shit. Mr. Terrific year one. I know nothing about this character. I'll put that on my pull list because I actually generally know nothing about this character at all.
I've seen the interiors. It looks really good interior wise, so I might pick that one up too.
What else is here? Venom Original Sin. What the fuck? I heard they're doing Venom verse versus Spider-Man. What the hell? What's with the verses of Venom? And every year it feels like there's a Venom war of some kind. It just feels like it always happens. You'll do bad things. That sounds like something for like Walter or some shit like that.
That
Uh
definitely sounds like an Image book.
oh, it is. Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker adaptation. Yeah, I didn't fucking like the movie. No way I'm buying it. That's how you know
Why?
this company's bankrupt. Everyone hated that movie, and I did. It's movie just objectively, and I hate using that word. That movie is a pile of shit. Why in the world would I read a comic book version of it? I'd rather take that book, buy it, and wipe my ass with it. I'd actually rather do that than buy that
Yeah,
pile of trash.
that's like getting robbed and then someone making a comic book of your robbing and wanting you to read
It's like if
it.
someone made a comic book version of Halle Berry's Catwoman. You think I'd read that shit? No, I'd always.
Oh, Herculoids. No shit. Dynamite. Okay, I'm gonna have to check that out.
It's on issue 4.
Yeah,
And it's got a lot of
Herculoids.
people interested. Look at that. It's got a lot of people interested on this. What is
Yeah,
this? Herculoid.
Herculoids is that old Hanna-Barbera cartoon.
Oh, I never seen.
Oh
Maybe
yeah, it's a great old school campy stuff, but I didn't know they were doing a comic. That's
past
awesome.
my past my time period.
Ooh, Mega Man.
Never was a Mega Man guy, honestly. Never appealed to me.
I love the artwork pretty much.
The Pale Knight. That's kind of cool. What is this?
Yeah, that is cool.
Mad Cave. Mad Cave's doing it. England, 1349. What are these names? Sir Hugh de Grey. What name? What names are these? The Pale Knight returns from war to find a land ravaged by the Black Death. Fuck, I could make so many jokes about that. And his son dying of the plague. When he prays to God to save his son's life, it is not God who answers, but death himself. And death is willing to get. Isn't that just Ghost Rider?
He has to face him in a fiddling contest, and the winner gets his
That's just
son's
straight up.
soul.
This is basically Ghost Rider. I'll put it on the debatable list. That sounds. I sound like I wouldn't read that. It piques my interest a little bit. Let's see. Void Rivals, Volume 3. People love Gargoyles, Demons. Yeah, I never watched Gargoyles growing up. I'm getting that trade. Superman Volume 4. Oh, what else is on here? There's the Wolverine by Sully, my man. I'm getting that. What a new Wonder Woman omnibus by Greg Rucka. The Transformers Compendium. This is the original stuff. They'll probably
Oh,
have these at Barnes and
the
Nobles. I have the GI
original
Joe one they
Marvel.
did. Looks very the GI Joe one is massive. That one is
Okay.
huge. Great quality too. Great quality stuff. It's got the nice little. It's got the nice glossy paper and everything.
Oh,
Static Shocks.
Static is coming to DC Compact. I'm gonna pick that up.
Is this the one where he got his powers through a Black Lives Matter rally? Hope not. Hope
What?
it's not that. I hope it's not that. You know that relaunch they try to do of that Vertigo Entertainment bullshit.
Oh,
I hope it's not this
yeah.
one. I actually don't know. Honestly. Wait, it came out February 2021. Oh,
This might be the brand new Static.
that might be the one where he got his powers in a Black Lives Matter rally. It
Uh,
might. I have no clue, but it might be. And this is all the second printings, right? No, Jenny Sparks. Who the fuck read that shit? Tom King's wrote. Tom King. Okay, that's an automatic. Wait, they're reprinting the Injustice omnibus. This already has a printing. Oh, unless they're just doing a second printing of it.
oh, this is a hardcover too.
Yeah, this already exists. This is just a second printing of that. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Absolute Superman Red Sun.
Oh, that is so good. Superman Red Sun.
Lost Fantasy #1. I think I bought that before. Thunderbolts Epic Collection. Targeted for Death. I'll
Huh.
have to go. Interesting. What else is here?
Ooh, Vinland Saga Volume 14.
Oh, they're gonna reprint Superman Secret Origin. That's cool. Vinland Saga. Where'd you see that? Where's that?
Right there.
Oh, okay. I like the hardcovers. Those look just amazing. Deadly Class. Blah blah blah. DC I don't even. That's a. Yep. That's what I want to read in my comic books and see two dudes blowing each other. Yep. Definitely want to see Harley Quinn giving head to a fucking woman. Yep. Exactly what I read these books for. Giant size Marvel omnibus. Yeah, they're making that omnibus out of all of their giant sizes. Isn't that what an omnibus is? Isn't that what just a giant? I don't. What? What is? It's omnibuses are literally giant sized versions of whatever. It's okay. I'm not gonna break.
Breathe. Breathe, MSK.
We're gonna make a
Breathe.
giant sized book. Isn't omnibus already a giant sized book? Yeah, but it's giant. Fucking kill me. All right, so that's it. That's essentially. Oh, Avengers, Marvel Masterworks, Volume 25. Is there a One Piece chapter dropping this week? I don't think there is. Oh, this is here. There's some good stuff dropping this week. I like this. Oh, there's boobs. Oh no, it's gay. Oh, usually first week of the month usually has some decent stuff. Not no. Yeah, that's after this week, right? Go with that. Go with that. Absolute Superman,
Oh.
Ultimate Wolverine, Green Lantern. Okay, this is gonna be okay. Put that there. Put that there. Put that there. We're gonna get back to reviewing comic books, guys. We just took a little bit of a break because you read so much of them damn things, your brain. Not, my brain isn't fried. It's just you got to take a break sometimes doing it. There's so much you have to say, so much you have to go over as far as story. I'm putting that there. What else is here? Oh, don't worry, guys. It's gonna get relaunched. Don't worry. Marvel's here to rescue us with their constant relaunches. Oh my, is that a dude? Is that a girl? That's a dude. Well, I couldn't tell. The Naruto TMNT crossover finishes. Make sure things on my pull list here. Jedi Knights. Nope. I don't trust Disney. I don't trust them asses. Oh, they're doing Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong #1. DC Pride. Nope. I'd rather blow my fucking brains out. Read that nonsense. The G.I. Joe. This is the Skybound Image trade for their new relaunch. Deceased gets a DC compact version. I have that there. Gonna be a good week. There's some fun weeks coming up. I like it. My Hero Academia Volume 41. Putting that there. Obviously. Invincible Iron Man Epic Collection. I might. That's 7? This is 7. Oh, I have to have that there. These will sell out. I have to have that there. All right. So that's pretty much it for the most part. We've not missed anything. Oh, so much. They're reprinting Superman: The Golden Age Omnibus Volume 1 hardcover. So essentially, if you guys remember, this is so they released a trade paperback version of this recently because this already exists. It's just a reprint of the original. This is essentially if you want to get like Action Comics #1, but if you get the DC's Finest book, you get to Action Comics issue 20. This goes to 31. Like, this is cool. I mean, do you? Because a lot of people don't like the old stuff. I would have to dig into this old stuff at some point. At some point. What else is there? There's some good. I will say they got some awesome stuff coming up as far as comic book wise. My wallet's gonna hurt, but I'll be here.
Get that
It's that.
OT in.
It's that freaking one line. Oh, it's the line of God damn it. I'll always be there. It's the one on Twitter where people make the caption for the NBA stars. I'll always be there no matter what. A new One Piece omnibus. They're gonna be on covering volumes 103 to 104. Okay, before we go, I will say this. I actually want to bookmark this. I want to have a thing where I do this. If you actually want to collect an anime and you want to read it manga form, if they have omnibuses, which are essentially mangas are called 3-in-1s, you call them omnibuses, not only are they cheaper than regular omnibuses. So a regular omnibus that I would buy from Marvel and DC, roughly, if I get it from eBay, seller lists it a little bit above MSRP, maybe around below MSRP, give or take with seller. Average, it's going to be $75. Okay? $75. I pay mine off so that the price doesn't matter to me. $75. Not only are manga omnibuses cheaper, they essentially give you a lot of pages too. So the price would be $17 right there. So this One Piece omnibus is going to cost you $17. So $75 for an omnibus versus $17 for an omnibus.
Yeah, and the
We'll say
$75 omnibus probably has what, 300 pages?
no. They're in like the 800s,
Oh,
900
okay. So
pages.
you're getting okay. So you're getting your money's
Yeah,
worth.
yeah. It's not that their page count is low. It's more like you can get a manga omnibus for $20 for 600 pages versus
Yeah,
getting a Marvel DC omnibus, which is $75 for fucking 800 pages. I mean,
yeah,
I would also recommend this too. If you want to, this is what I would say. There's more bang for your buck buying like manga omnibuses than buying single volumes. If the series only has single volumes at that current moment in time, fine. And some animes don't have omnibuses, or sorry, I'm saying animes. Some mangas don't have 3-in-1s, fine. But the ones that do have 3-in-1s, omnibuses, I would very much recommend collecting it all in omnibus format. Not only do you save more money, okay, so all these volumes 103 to 105, all of them are going to cost $10, right? So that's $30 plus tax. You're going to be hitting about $39, right? All that doesn't matter. $17 for all three of them. You're essentially paying half the price for all three of them. Now, that's if you want to collect it all in this format. If you don't want to collect it all in this format and you rather just get the volumes as they come out to have it all in one manga collection, you can do that. That's what I would do personally. Now, for certain series like Naruto, I do them both. I'd rather have the single volumes and the omnibuses because I'm a fucking madman and I'm actually dementally insane. But I would prefer if I read it in 3-in-1s.
yeah.
The
And the
paper
3-in-1s are good.
only issue they have, paper quality. The actual single manga's paper feels better. 3-in-1's paper quality feels
Well, you got to be careful too, because if it's too thick, the spine wears out quicker. Also,
yeah.
so yeah, like I got these Lone Wolf and the Cub um, omnibus type deals that Dark Horse did, but they
Yeah.
were regular manga size and they were just super thick. And those started breaking apart at the spine because it's just so big.
Oh my.
Um, I have the One Piece 3-in-1s and those are fine. I
Yeah.
also
Yeah.
have Full Metal 3-in-1s and
I have Yu-Gi-Oh because they only did Yu-Gi-Oh, the original Yu-Gi-Oh in 3-in-1s. They never did the other series actually. I so I have Yu-Gi-Oh, Inuyasha, Naruto. I have it both formats. Bleach is 3-in-1. Yeah, if the main ones that I like have 3-in-1s, I'll have three in
yeah,
ones.
I've
You
got
know,
some Inuyasha 3-in-1s also.
those look so good. Those are
They are, yeah.
amazing. God, like Dragon Ball looks amazing in those Viz big editions.
Oh,
Those,
the Viz Big Editions are so fucking cool. Yeah, I've got a couple of the Dragon Ball and the Dragon Ball Z ones. I like
yeah,
those.
Dragon Ball Z ones are they look amazing. Yeah, I
I
love them.
I love the Dark Horse full size hardcovers that you get like Berserk and Blade of the
Uh,
Immortal.
would you consider Vinland Saga mainstream?
Yeah,
I,
it has an anime.
yeah,
It's
Vinland
very
Saga
popular.
has omnibuses. Trigun
Yeah,
has it just depends. You just have to look.
you're starting to see them more. I think
Yeah,
more people.
Dark Horse Comics actually does the more obscure anime in hardcover, oversized
Yeah.
hardcover. It just depends because like this, I understand why it takes so long because I can show people what the book looks like. So God, give me one sec, everyone. Hold on, I have it right here.
But
So
yeah, I'm seeing 3-in-1s in a lot of different kinds of series start popping up. Like I think
yeah,
it's
I
starting to
agree.
become a
It's
popular
just more
thing.
bang for your buck. It's a much
Yeah.
better format to collect them in. So here, I'll just grab the both of them right now. So oh my god, I just hit my brand new computer with my fucking chair. I'm about to hit. Oh my god, this thing is so big. It gets in the way. Let me move you over, mommy. It's okay. It's okay. I didn't mean to hit you. So this is Fairy Tale Omnibus. It's a 3-in-1 right there. Looks fine. I bought it from, I don't know where I bought it from. I forgot. Maybe Eat Amazon. Could have been from Barnes and Noble. I don't care. So you see the paper quality? Like, looks fine, right? So this is what the oversized hardcovers that come from. I think this come from Dark Horse. I could be wrong. It should say here. Oh my god, this thing is fucking amazing. This thing is great. Who made this? Who published this? Is this Dark Horse? Did a fucking damn good job on this. This is what the oversized hardcover look like. Oh god, these are so heavy. Holy shit. Look at that. Beautiful.
Oh, the
Amazing.
artwork looks so good. That big size too.
Yeah, and the creator added in like maps and everything, so you can kind of see the map of the world and everything too. These are absolutely amazing. I would say if you're whatever I would just check and see if your anime has a manga adaptation that has a more of a collected format of it. So much more bang for your buck, essentially buying 3 volumes in one versus getting them singly, because you just save money doing it. If you want to get them volumed, well, you can, but I'd rather see if mine has a collected edition. Now, new mangas are not going to have omnibuses forever at this point. Like, there's a new one out that I want to read. It's not going to have a collected edition until 10 years from now, honestly. I think it's
Well,
called Kagurabachi.
you usually don't see it until it's finished.
Yeah.
Most of the time, unless it's a dark horse, they'll start doing the hardcover pretty quick. But if most of the time, if it was popular, and it seems like if it's popular and if it's done, you start seeing 3-in-1s popping up. And because I went to Barnes and Noble and I found a lot more 3-in-1s than I normally thought I would in the series. Yeah, that definitive edition of Vagabond looks really good. I have a 3-in-1 of Vagabond, which it's just that one is really good. I've also got hardcover large editions
Yeah,
of
Vagabond has it. Rurouni
uh,
Kenshin has one.
uh,
Uh, Trigun has it.
Helsing.
Death Note have one. Helsing has one. Full Metal
I got
Alchemist. Those
yeah,
look really good. Those are fucking
I've
amazing,
got
honestly.
one for also for Ghost in the Shell has a box set hardcovers that I have. But yeah, it's well worth it,
My Hero
especially.
Academia eventually will have the 3-in-1s.
Oh,
Those
they will. Yeah,
and theirs is easy to collect. They're only gonna have 41 volumes.
yeah,
That's good. Yeah,
it's already done.
yeah. That's what I would say. I'll have to do a whole special episode of Comic Book Market Watch talking about the manga omnibuses, because it's fine if you're buying them singly as they're coming out, but if you're, I would say if you're into like Naruto, Bleach, or whatever, I just get the 3-in-1s. You save money. There's no
Yeah,
reason to buy a single volume. Why would I get a single volume when I can get 3 in one? And it's 600 pages and it's $20. It's the same shit.
yeah.
Unless you really care. The average person does not care about paper quality like that.
No,
They're
and
gonna turn.
it still looks good on the shelf too.
Looks actually great on a shelf. Perfectly. Yeah. But that's the thing is, I wanted to basically re-get my Naruto volume collection. So after I get my Naruto volume collection, I'm gonna probably buy it again 3-in-1 because it just even looks better. I don't know, but because that's the thing is, the older Naruto manga volumes I have are all basically just I bought them when I was younger. Some still look pretty good. Some look fine, honestly. But I just wanted to have newer versions of them. Probably should have got them all 3-in-1, but my nostalgia was too hard on that. I
Yeah,
have Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, which I think is really great manga form. Doesn't have omnibuses, honestly. Like, it's crazy. Only the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Had it 3-in-1. Crazy. I'm more into individual volumes because of the covers. Something like Vagabond with its amazing covers is something lost. One thing is, with omnibuses like that, One Piece has them serialized where it's all 3, which kind of, it's hard to say if that's better. I understand why, because if you do a manga 3-in-1, the first of the 3 arcs is gonna have the cover. It's gonna get the cover. So like the worst cover potentially might get the cover of the book. It's always fun to talk about. I love it. I love collecting this stuff. It's just so much fun. But we're gonna wrap it up here because Warren's. Speaking of anime, when will Demon Slayer have its 3-in-1s? Honestly,
anytime now.
it should. Yeah,
Yeah,
I have to
the
watch Demon
movies
Slayer
are
for us to review it.
yeah, the movies are coming out in September, so
Oh my god. Look at all these. You could, yeah. If I tell anyone this, you want to collect One Piece, buy the 3-in-1s.
yeah, just go on Amazon, put in manga 3-in-1, and every one that they have will pop up there, and you can go through and see what series you want.
You can do everything because they have the omnibus right now go all the way up to volume 35. You're good.
Yeah.
That's good lord. So for me, if the series can finish out 3-1, I'll do that. Naruto's different. I have a lot of, and Dragon Ball is different. But Yashi, man, anything planned coming up that you would like to let the audience know about?
Check me out this Sunday on my YouTube channel for my restarting of doing drawing live stream. I'll be drawing on issue 4 of my comic series, The Adventures of Sig and Joe, and this will
Hell
be the
yeah.
first time I've been back in a while. So yeah, 8 o'clock Pacific Standard Time on Sunday. Check me out on my YouTube channel. Like and subscribe.
Hell yeah. Walter, one of my supporters, is gonna basically gift me 3-1s for my birthday. You know,
Oh,
he already,
that's so nice of him.
yeah, good job. Thank you, Walter, for gifting me collection from my favorite
Yay!
anime. Yay. Hell yeah. I do have to make a trip to Frankensons. I haven't been there in so long. I love that place. So, as you guys know, for me, tomorrow I have a one-on-one with good lord, what's her name? Lenore. Miss Lenore, actually. So, or is it Leonore? I'm pretty sure it's Lenore. The freaking women. So I have a one-on-one with a woman named Lenore, her first appearance on the show. Then after that, I have to do the cloud. No, let me refresh my brain. One on one with Lenore. Then I rest for a little bit after that. Then I have to do the comic book market watch. Have to get it done. Then I got the Cloud9 podcast on Sunday. And after that, Monday starts up and we just kind of run the show the shame. Next week, with if I'm not tired on Thursday, I have to do the show with Chaz. We'll probably end up, you know, bringing back the comic book reviews. I'll just pick out a book for us to just go back to and just review. Just
Yeah.
start it back up that way. If there's no topics, then we'll just be reviewing comic books, or maybe we'll just review a movie. Who knows? You know, switch it up. That's how my sex life is with my wife. You switch it up. So that is essentially it. So yeah, thank you guys for always being here and loving me and giving me all your money. Whenever we have super chats, I can't wait to take all your money. Oh god, just give it to me. I'm joking. So hope you guys have a great weekend. Thank you guys for checking out this episode of the MSK Show.